Hello everyone, Mariko Berg here, Realtor with Bridgewell Real Estate Group located in Coquitlam, British Columbia, Canada. And today I am doing a video for the first time in a very long time because I've been so busy with work. Things have been really crazy, but also with renovating. I was renovating the house that I own in Port Moody, and then I also went and bought a condo in Coquitlam in the process. And so now I have my renovated office and then also my new office in the condo. And so a lot of things going on, but I did want to put together a video, and I'm going to be putting together more content moving forward, both vlogging on YouTube and blogging on my website, which is bridgewellgroup.ca/blog. And today I really wanted to talk about what it means to be an unrepresented party in a real estate transaction. So what that means is you are choosing to represent yourself. Either on a sale or on a purchase, and you're choosing not to use a realtor. So the Real Estate Council kind of stepped in on this last year, and what they've done is they've created a document called the Disclosure of Representation, and then also a disclosure on what it means to be an unrepresented party if you do choose to represent yourself. The reason why they stepped in is because they felt that the realtors weren't necessarily doing what they could to effectively communicate exactly what it meant to be an unrepresented party, and that the public was getting hurt from that in the process. So this disclosure of representation really goes through very black and white on what it means to be a client and what it means to be an unrepresented party. So when you are a client, a realtor is entitled to give you special legal duties. So they are obligated to be loyal to you. They're going to be obligated to put your best interests first. They are avoiding conflicts of interest. So for example, if they are a perfect example of something that is not avoiding a conflict of interest is when a realtor represents both the seller and the buyer. The seller wants the highest price, the buyer wants the lowest price. How can you represent both parties to the best of your ability when they want completely opposite things? So that would be an example of a conflict of interest. So when you're in a client relationship with someone, your realtor cannot enter themselves into a situation where there would be a conflict of interest, i.e. representing both the seller and the buyer. Another thing you can expect as a client is you're going to get full disclosure of all information. If you're in an unrepresented relationship with someone, you are not going to get full disclosure of all the information, or the realtor is at least not obligated to give you full disclosure of all that information. Another thing that you can expect as a client is to protect your confidentiality, things like your ceiling price or your floor price, depending on what side of the transaction that you're on. So ultimately, an unrepresented party, you're getting the exact opposite relationship of what it means to be a client. So on this disclosure of representation form, and also the disclosure of what it means to be an unrepresented buyer, it says this very explicitly. So you are not going to be entitled to the special legal duties that a client receives, or a fiduciary duty that the client receives. You're not getting any loyalty from the real estate professional on the other side. So for example, if you are purchasing a pre-sale property from the developer sales staff is there. The developer sales staff has no loyalty to you. They have loyalty to the developer, aka the seller. Same situation, they have no duty to avoid conflicts of interest. They do not have to provide you full disclosure, which is obviously something that you would want in a situation where you're purchasing a property that's probably one of the biggest assets you're ever going to purchase. In the pre-sale situation specifically, we see a lot of people going in and just representing themselves or being an unrepresented party, and they just rely on the information that the developer sales staff gives to them. And they don't really realize that the developer sales staff is not required to give them full disclosure. They will give them information if you ask the right questions, but if you don't ask the right questions or you don't know what questions to ask, you won't be told. So you don't have anyone that's doing homework, doing digging for you, doing the research, all of those things so that you get full disclosure. And again, no confidentiality. So your personal information, your prices, any information that you share with that other professional that you are not in a client relationship with is open for them to share with other people, including the seller, for example. So if you are sharing information with a real estate professional and you're on the buy side and you are unrepresented and you choose to be unrepresented, but you told, the seller's agent, what dates you wanted, or that you already sold your home, or your motivation, or all these different things. Just know that the seller's agent is going to share that with the seller, and it might not be to your benefit in a negotiation. So as you can see, there's a big difference between being a client and having a client relationship with a realtor, and then obviously being an unrepresented party. So as a realtor myself, I mean, maybe I'm a little biased, but I always recommend that people do not proceed with either a purchase or a sale as an unrepresented party. Again, you're dealing with one of the biggest things that you're ever going to purchase or sell in your entire life. You want to make sure that you're supported by a professional that's doing this day in and day out, and make sure that you are safe and protected, and that your best interests are put first. So if you have any questions about that and what it really means to be an unrepresented party, or if you're thinking about purchasing a property or thinking about selling a property and you just want a realtor's opinion on it, or you want to talk to a realtor, get to know a little bit more about what the benefits of a realtor are, or when you should use a realtor, feel free to reach out to me anytime. Again, my name is Mariko. I'm with Bridgewell Real Estate Group, and I am more than happy to help, because there's nothing that makes me more upset than when somebody says that they really didn't know what it meant to be an unrepresented party and they got screwed over, or when something unfortunate happens that could just be avoided. So definitely, if you have any questions or you need any real estate help at all, feel free to give me a call, text, email. All my information is down in the description below. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.